Welcome back to the Lifetimes podcast. I'm your host, Lloyd Phillips.
And I'm Leighton Rowan.
Hey, man. This happened the other day at the airport. Do you know that when you get onto an airplane, you can't get off of the airplane? Correct. Like once you get on, you can't get off.
Yep.
Like, you know this? These are TSA rules, people, that you got to abide by these days. But you can't get off. So this lady gets on, and then she runs to the front of the plane. She's like, I left my phone. She's like, I lost my phone. And so they're like, sorry, ma'am, listen, you can't just get off. If not, you're going to have to. So like playing this game, she's like, well, try to send somebody to look for it. So they didn't let her off the plane. She just stayed at the front at first, and they couldn't find it. And so she just kept saying, so they're like, what phone is it? And this is what she said. Like, she says, it's an iPhone. Like, which model? And she's like, iPhone 21. That's what she said. Is she a time traveler?
Yeah.
Have you seen those great Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie? I don't know if George's still alive, but Coast to Coast AM. It comes on at like 2:30 on like 7:40 AM. I think. It's been around for like 50 years, 40 or 50 years. They only deal with conspiracy theories and stories and like aliens and skinwalkers.
Yeah.
That's it. And they always talk about time travelers back in the day. This is, by the way, this is not what the show's going to be about. But do you think she's a time traveler?
I mean, maybe if she had the
she had an iPhone 21.
iPhone 21. I bet it had an awesome camera on it.
Yeah, I was floored. As a matter of fact, with that technology, she probably could have just talked to it, and it would have came.
Hey Siri, come back.
Yeah, Siri would have walked it out. Little Siri legs walked it into the plane. Who?
Well, Siri said sorry. She
Siri,
couldn't come back.
Stay off the podcast, you skank. Yeah. Anyway, that's the iPhone 21.
Yeah.
Did I tell you? Yeah, I probably said that the last time. Some flight attendants, they get in that game. It's a people game. You're supposed to make people feel good. And for the most part, that's what they do. But there are some rude ladies that are flight attendants.
Yeah, that makes no sense. You shouldn't have that job.
No, there's just some rude ladies, and they're just rude to people. And then there's these dudes that like other dudes, and they're not very nice to people also. Yeah. And like the queen type,
Yeah.
Whatever. That stuff bothers me. Why are you rude? Why are you being rude?
Yeah.
Not every dude, but I'm just saying, like, there's people that act like, there's dudes that act like queens, like that kind.
Yeah.
Why are you even in this? Why do you do this for a living?
Yeah.
Like, it bothers me. I mean, go find something else to do. And the other day I was in a store, just outside of the flight attendant. I'm getting water. Well, I pull up to the convenience store. The waters are outside. At this point, it's 2 p.m. So the waters have been outside all day in the heat.
Yep.
Now, I know from like oil and gas work, we'd order crates of water, and they'd set out in the heat. Well, until somebody was smart enough to say, get them out of the heat. But,
Yeah.
But they would set out in the heat. There's been times in my career where they set out there for like a week. And when and it's 100 degrees and, the sun's beating down on it. And it's like magnifying glass, like where it hits and it illuminates.
Yep.
It's hotter. So when you drink the water, it tastes like plastic. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
So I ask, I'm like, ma'am, how long's the water been out there? Like all day. I'm like, you think it'll taste like plastic? Why? Probably my fault for even attempting to have this conversation with the cash registers at 7-Eleven in Pittsburgh. We're like, you think it'll taste like plastic? Like, no, we do it all the time. I'm like, okay. And like, she made a face at me, like I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
She obviously has no idea that if you leave water out in the sun in those bottles, it tastes like plastic. Based on her reaction, she doesn't know that. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And so when I ask her that and she answers like I'm an idiot, she turns and looks at her friend, also a cashier at 7-Eleven, and like that was a dumb question, and the lady's like, "No, it's fine."
Oh yeah, I would have.
So then when I then you have to walk. Here's what I don't like about this: I got to pick up the water from outside, and I got to take it inside for them to scan it.
Yep.
So I take it in there and I set it up there, and I was like, I need 3 of them, and she says nothing else to me. This is how I know that she was annoyed by what I asked her. She says nothing to me. And so I just take the water out, and I was mad about it the rest of the day.
Yeah, I would have. I can't stand when you are in. Which of course everybody has bad days. You don't know necessarily what everybody's going through at whatever time, but when you have those types of jobs, you just got to put on the front. You're supposed to make people feel a certain type of way at your establishment. That's how you run businesses. It makes no sense.
Yeah, if you're not a customer friendly person, you shouldn't be in the customer service business.
Or yeah, go stock the shelves in the back. Don't be up in the front talking to people. It drives me crazy. I also can't stand when I'm the one like pushing, hey, how are you today? And that it's just talking to a blank wall. I can't stand that.
Because I'll walk in and I'll be the first one to say hi. Like if I'll walk into a place of business and I sit there and they don't say anything, and then I'll be like, "How are you?" I'm like, "Good. How are you?" "Good." And it's just silence. I'm like, you been working hard today? Yep.
Yeah.
Why am I the one talking?
Exactly.
Like you're the one supposed to be talking. Like
Yes.
it does make me mad when I have to give effort like that.
Yeah, it's annoying.
But I whatever they do to me, I do it back.
Yeah.
That's mirroring, I'm just mirroring what you're doing. And that's what I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're nice, I'm nice. If you're not nice, I'm not nice either. If I felt like you snapped, then I'll do it right back.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, and it's not hard to be nice.
So like, I'll check in. This is the first go. We're fine now, but I would deal with these same people. Every time I would check in, I would deal with the same people. So when I walk in now, they were like, "Hey, Mr. Phillips." And every time. And then they say funny stuff. We talk back and forth. It was a new guy checking in. Now, he doesn't know that I've been there. I've never seen this guy. He don't know. I've been there 6 months.
Yeah.
Everybody in the entire place knows me. I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
But he has a manager badge on, so I don't think he just started.
Yep.
Well, he checks me in, and he's like, he gives me a small room because I only have suites. Every week I have these suites. So he gives me a small room, and I'm like, "Well, sir, this is not my contract. It's not a contract, but I got a rate, corporate rate." So I was like, "Well, this isn't my room." I was like, "How much?" And I was just asking. I was like, "How much are these rooms?" And he told me it was $60 more a night than the rooms that I get, and it was a way smaller room.
Yeah.
And I said, "Sir, those are not the rooms I stay in." I was like, "I usually stay in the 22 series." I mean, he knows what I mean. I stay in the 22 series, and these are, and that rate's not right, and the room's not right. And he's like, "Well, that's all I got." And he was like being rude, and I just checked in. It wasn't nighttime; it was morning, and I decided to not have that conversation. But since that guy was rude and he was acting like I was dumb, every time I'd ask him a question, he would like be, he'd be smart aleck. So was I. I'd do it back. And so I think he hated me and I hated him. And what I did is I went down 3 hours later with the regular people and I got the room that I had that he said they didn't have. The guy's an idiot. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there, he saw the way the people treated me for the next month. And so now he acts like we're in the club, but we're not. I still think he's an idiot to this day. but I don't like it when people are rude. And even though, if you just listen to the podcast, I noticed this. I actually in real life, I'm telling real life stories, but most of the time I'm actually a positive person. And I think people even think I'm a positive person, but if you just listen to the podcast, it sounds like I'm negative because I only ever talk about stuff that bothers me or whatever. Am I negative?
No, I think.
I mean, I got to be a little because the way I talk.
I think in your head it's like you are saying, like, you get on here and talk about things that are negative and that bother you, but it's also comedic and it's also funny because everybody that listens relates to exactly what you're saying. Yeah,
maybe. But sometimes I feel like I'm negative on here.
Well, negative Lloyd is the funniest Lloyd.
But yeah, well, I mean, I talk this way to be funny, but I also know that I do it a lot. And it's real easy for me to point out people's flaws.
Yeah.
Which is not...
Which is the flaw.
Yeah, which is. And it's like my favorite thing to do. I'm just being funny, but it's my favorite thing to do when I'm doing it.
Yes.
But I also don't go so. I don't go below the belt where like people are mad or hate me or well,
Yeah.
I don't know if they hate me, but you know,
Yeah.
they're not going to get mad or frown or
Yeah.
like, you know, so I just, sometimes I think I'm real negative. And I'm going to church camp this week, by the way.
Well, that's positive.
Actually, next week. Last week I went to church camp.
Yes. Are we in the future right now?
Yeah. Time travels. We time travel.
I think we time traveled just now.
All right. Well, maybe we did. So anyway, like, I'm church camp.
Last week.
You know what, guys? Let me just tell the story. I got to say it. Listen, I was in Pittsburgh. I skipped 3 weeks. We're doing 2 podcasts in a row. I don't know where it falls, but the reason I'm taking it back is I'm going to church camp. I got to talk about church camp.
Last week you went to church camp, but next week we'll be talking about Lloyd's church camp.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I skipped a week. Did it? Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sure stuff's going to happen there.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, like I can't even tell the story. Speaking of that, you know, we have this thing called SpeakPipe.
Speakpipe.com/life&times.
Yeah, so we have that, and you hear us randomly talk about it, and then you know, and we always say, like, if somebody calls in and uses it, we'll run it on here, you know, depending on what it is. So we reference church camp, so it's this is in. Listen, it's not me, but we reference church camp, and this one, it's interesting. I heard it. Here we go. Here it is.
Lloyd, this is God the Father speaking. Just an FYI, Jesus, my son, was not in the book of Exodus, like you said. I wish you cared as much about my book as you do about Superman. You would have known and not embarrassed yourself. May you walk in the way of the Lord's blessing.
You guys listen to the show? At what point in the show, ever in the history of this show, did I be like, oh, you know, Jesus is in the book of Exodus?
I think.
I mean, all right. Well, that's it, SpeakPipe. So if you got one or a question, that we were going to like make it questions. That just a made up story. Like, when did I have a conversation with anybody?
I don't know, but if you're paying attention to the Bible more than your Superman comic books, then maybe you would have known that.
You know, speaking of comic books, I don't. Do you? Have you ever read comic books?
Yeah, I mean, 15 years ago.
I never. If I've ever read a comic book ever in my life, I was probably in 2nd, 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Only. Like, that's it. Like, only.
Yep.
I don't know if I've ever read a comic book.
No, as an adult, I've never sat down. I mean, I flipped through one. I've never read it.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever read the whole book.
Oh, I for sure have not read a full one. No.
But what's so weird though about that is how big it's became. And even though I didn't read them, I do have this one childhood friend. Assuming he didn't sell them, I actually tried to Facebook Messenger him one time, and he never responded. So I'm about to write him off.
Shout out to that guy.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Kyle. So your name's Kyle.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, he had he has these very elaborate comic books. I don't to this day I don't remember which one, but I remember when he first showed me, I was fascinated. He had like a #1 Batman, like a #1 Spider-Man, a #1 I don't know, Final Fantasy, or what is that? Fantastic Four. He had very elaborate ones like that, and I just remember being very fascinated. Now, it was a long time ago, so I don't know what they would be graded at. You know, if you send them into like card grading or comics. Aside from all that, I would buy comic books. When I found one I thought was cool, I'd buy it just in case it became something later. So this is not a highly sought after one, but I have a #1 Spawn, Spawn. But I bought it because Spawn had just came out, and I found it in a random, like one of those game stores that sells Nintendo games and Sega games.
Oh, yeah.
And all that.
Vendor stock?
not Vintage Stock.
Game
though.
Exchange?
Yeah. Yes. I got it at Game Exchange. And so but it looks immaculate. And I bought it because I was going to send it off and get graded. I never did. But so then I started looking at other comics. There's a guy where I grew up. I went to school with him. And he was a very nice guy. I'd love to say we're friends for the sake of this conversation. We're definitely, it's not that we're not friends. He's a grade above me. I played sports. He never did play sports. He was very quiet. I was very loud. I never had classes with him. He was smarter than I was, so he would take higher level classes. I'm just saying. And he's a grade above me. So it's not like we had this thing, but his name's Roy Boney. And he's one of the most talented people. I can't even fathom how he does what he does, but he under this group got to make a cover for a Spider-Man comic.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and it's their limited edition, and I bought that, and I tried to buy every one I could see, and there's still like a hang up. I'm still waiting on one from I purchased it a year ago. I guess it's going to ship when it comes in.
COVID.
I bought it 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago. I'd have to look it up. Anyway, rambling here. I didn't read the comic books, but I still am kind of fascinated. If I would walk in the store and I found what I thought would be a good deal in like some kind of series of comic, I would buy it for sure.
Yeah.
I would for sure buy
Same
it.
here.
Because I'm that kind of guy. Yeah, that's right. Because you got a lot of cool stuff too. I'm that kind of guy that if I think something's collectible, like I'll buy it.
Yep.
Here's where I'm not good at it though. I'm not good at selling it.
Oh, this is why nobody can see it on the camera. This is why the man cave / pod cave is just a mess, because I'm a closet hoarder.
You are a closet hoarder.
Yes.
I was just being silly. I mean, you do got a lot of very
random
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. But see, I'm that way too. I wish I'd have to have like. It wouldn't be as fun though. I was gonna say I wish I had Elon Musk money, so I would make a whole collectible room. But then if I had his money, it's not as cool as any.
Yeah, it takes the thrill of collecting it.
Because I could buy anything.
Exactly.
So it'd be less cool. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Somehow, I'm gonna start a small town museum. You just walk in, look like, oh look, it's a 275th edition of a Batman comic. It's worth $4, but it's graded.
Oh, hey, look, there's Leighton's G.I. Joe that he didn't open when he was 4 years old.
Yeah, look, there's a Steve Urkel doll I bought at a yard sale.
Exactly.
Yeah, my collectibles would suck. I mean, I love them. That's why I buy them. But like, there would be, if you, now let's reference, because we've talked about it twice. If you were Elon Musk, he would walk into our collectible building and he'd be like, what are you, just burn this thing, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Your collectibles suck. So I still like look at that. So the other day I bought this, I bought a LeBron. We all know how I feel about him. I don't like him. I bought a LeBron James rookie card because I was on PrestineAuctions.com.
The greatest player of all time?
He's not, but whatever. I was going to reference this thing, but I can't remember how many games he played. Whatever. I'll get back to that.
Yeah.
So, but I bought this LeBron James rookie card, and I didn't know, and I bought it on a whim. It was like $60.
Oh, is that?
And I was all excited because I'm like, I just bought a LeBron James rookie card for $60. Well, yeah, it's only worth like $120. So I mean, it's a value as far as that goes. But I guess he had a few rookie cards made. It was even a reputable brand, like I think it was Upper Deck or whatever. But there's certain ones you can buy that are $10,000, and then though they're made, then it's his rookie. Other ones are worth like $60,
yeah,
$100 or whatever. Yeah. So like, anyway, I'm rambling here, but I do like stuff like that. But here's what happens with me when I collect a bunch of things. Just over the years, I'll drag them around for a while, and because there's some things that are cool for the time period, and then when I get a little older or time passes, and I go back and I start looking at some of the stuff that's in these, like let's say I'm going to go to the next move or whatever, I'm like, I don't really need that alien I got at Roswell Alien Museum. I carried this Roswell glow-in-the-dark alien around for 15 years, and the last move, I'm like staring at it. I never like put it up in the house, so I'm like, what am I? This is stupid.
That's like me. We've been in this house for I think 2 years now, and I mean I still have boxes of stuff that I have not fully went through, but that was like me going through some of that stuff. Like I would pull out just something random and it's almost like I looked at myself in the mirror without looking myself in the mirror and just like had a conversation with myself. You should just probably just throw this away.
Here's a new one I do. This is a new one I do. I've had the NFL 75th anniversary's Wheaties box that was a hologram front. I've had that thing. I'd have to do the math, people. I don't remember, but I think I got it in like 2001, whatever the year is. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd have to go. It's simple math if you got the internet right now, but I don't research it. It was a long time ago, 20 years. I bet I've had this box, and so I'm thinking, why do I keep it? You know, thinking like it's going to be worth $1 million one day. So I get on eBay to look it up. You can buy that box for $3 right now.
Yep.
I still have the box, but I'm saying like that. Why?
But I'm pretty sure there are rare, because I think I've looked that up before, because I'm pretty sure my grandpa has like, every Wheaties box that Tiger Woods has been on or something.
Yeah.
I think eventually they get collectible.
Well,
you just got to be dead for it to be valuable.
Stuff is worth whatever somebody's willing to pay for it. Right?
Yes.
I mean, so when Project 2020 came out, these Topps baseball cards, and I only knew about it because my friend got me one. He knew I liked Cal Ripken Jr., so he got online and got me one, which was cool that he did that, and he gave it to me. I was like, oh, thank you very much, because he kept telling me he had a present for me. And so I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And then he started telling me all about it. Well, then I got online, and I started ordering them. So there's 400 cards, so I didn't order all 400, but I did get every single Cal Ripken Jr. And so some of the cards then, because once they went out of production, they only made the amount that people ordered.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So they didn't. There's not 10,000 of them.
Yeah, they didn't mass produce it.
Nope. Whatever was bought, that's what that's how many there are. So they only produce that amount. I guess that's the best way to order it.
Yep.
So I have all of those. Those cards, some of them were worth like $300 and $400, right then. But times passed, and I got on there the other day. Now they didn't go down to $3 or anything, but the demand is not as high anymore.
Yeah.
But still, if you're going to buy every set, I did see if you were to own all of them, somebody's selling on eBay for $35,000.
Holy crap!
Yeah, I didn't do the math on it. I forgot what it was. The more cards you bought, the cheaper they were.
Oh yeah,
if you bought more of them.
Yeah.
So you could buy more than one. So for the real cool ones, I buy like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have those. I looked at display cases the other day. I'm not a woodworker. You know how much these display cases cost for 20 card holders? $600.
What?
Yeah, I'm in the wrong business.
What do they have, like built-in humidifiers or something? Or dehumidifiers?
No, it literally is a wooden case, and it's got 6 card holders, and you just shove them, 20 card holders, and you just shove the cards. Because the cards come in plastic.
Yeah.
They were shipped that way.
Yeah, the hard plastic?
Yeah. So you just push them in there, and that's it. No, there's not climate control. No, speaking of you saying that, I'm going to Washington, D.C. For, I guess we're going to call it our anniversary.
Yeah.
My wife's anniversary, maybe birthday present. I think it's too early to call it an anniversary, but that's what she was saying.
Yeah.
But we're going to Washington, D.C.
Have you ever been?
No, for all the places that, well, yes, I have. Have I walked the museums and looked at everything? No. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just look at the museums. I've never done that.
Did you see the Capitol, White House, that stuff?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've laid eyes on it, but I never. I didn't feel like I had the time at the time to. But yeah. Anyway, so we're going, and I'm going straight up to the museums.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So I'm pretty excited for that. Just because, that's the stuff in that building's where America started.
Mm.
And, I don't even know. I don't know people's feelings these days about America, but I was always fascinated by it. I'm like, My grandpa was a World War II guy, you know, military family. And so like I just always was fascinated by that stuff my whole life. Well, the histories in those museums,
Yeah.
like things I read. I don't even think kids even read American history anymore. I'm actually not even being weird about it. I don't know if they do. Like that was things that you study back then. So, like to walk in and see the Wright brothers airplane.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome.
Yep.
I would almost guarantee if I asked my daughter right now who the Wright brothers are, I don't think she could tell me. She's 10 years old.
Yeah. Probably not.
I'm saying that the curriculum has changed.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, and they don't study the things that we used to study.
Because of Joyce Hoffmeister.
Who?
Joy Hoffmeister.
Oh, Joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that why?
Isn't she like the director of Oklahoma education or something?
Yeah, I think she's superintendent. I don't know how, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe. You know, there's something I don't know. Teachers do, I guess. Who comes up with the curriculum?
That's a great question.
I mean, is it state by state? Is it federal mandated?
I think it's state by state just because of the laws that each state can put in place. I believe that the state controls it.
I like when we say these things to people who know the answer.
Yeah, they're like screaming at us like, God, these guys are so stupid.
Yeah, well, go to
speakpipe.com/life&times.
Yeah,
and tell us
if you got something to say
about it. Say it to our ears.
Yeah, so if you don't, if you know the answers, why don't you tell us?
Yeah.
I wish people, actually, you know, that's what I wish, because people may not just call in or ask us questions, but I wish if they had even complaints or what they thought we said
anything
something stupid. I think that's better.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Obviously people aren't using it because I don't. Maybe we don't make it a focal point.
Yeah, so I'll just call somebody out, Sarah. Instead of texting us complaining about there's no podcast, go to speakpipe.com/life&times and tell us that you're mad that there's not a podcast.
Yeah, Sarah. Yeah, do something with your life, Sarah.
Goodness gracious.
Oh, she's not the only one. That's why I was like trying to say people who's like, hey, do you do these shows anymore? It's really sad that I had such a long run every week, and then just there's been one time we skipped a couple, and that was a good run here, but not on purpose. I just was stuck in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And I love Pittsburgh.
And we could probably put one out, but the quality just wouldn't be as good, and I don't think either one of us want just like a crappy quality thing out.
Here's the reality about podcasts, because if it doesn't sound good, people aren't going to listen anyway.
Exactly.
Like they're not. Those people that do podcasts, like I had some friends that had a podcast one, or still have one. Javi has his own, and this is a long time ago. It's not now, but he did these podcasts, but it sounded like he was in a tin can. Mm-hmm. It's like a lot of airy, like noise, spatial noise. It was hard to listen because it was just hard to listen.
Well, I mean, there's like big podcasts that will have an off episode where they travel and interview somebody, and so their setup's not the same. And if it's not anything I'm interested in, I'm not listening because the audio's so bad.
Yeah.
So that's just a human nature thing.
Yeah. Yeah, your sound sucks, man. Would you ask me to go to a country concert?
Yeah, and then you rejected me, so. Oh, but I did.
But I said, who is it? And then you said, who is it? Who is it for the sake of this podcast? Who is it?
Megan Moroni.
Yeah. Yeah, that person. I have no idea who that is.
Okay.
None.
You do know who this is, and I was going to ask you off air, will you go to a Counting Crows concert with me? Because they're coming to the Canes.
Counting Crows is my favorite. And that's also weird and sad, or whatever word, because they're coming to the Canes when? I
think September, October. I don't know. I was going to buy us tickets.
So what's crazy about that is this is the first time I'm hearing it, because I don't always just look at Canes. They're one of my favorite bands.
Mine too.
I watched them in Red Rocks, Colorado.
Oh.
I sat on the front row at Red Rocks.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, and that was awesome. On the very front row of Red Rocks, you're up. I mean, the elevation's high. It's when nighttime hits, it's cooler outside anyway. The acoustics there at Red Rocks, it was pretty awesome. And it was a memorable show because there's a guy, I don't know how far he came down. I saw security looking upward, so I turned to look. So I did see this. when I started seeing a giant human being running down from about row 20, because I see security looking at him, he gets to about row 3. He's right behind me, though. Like, row 3, stops. He don't go to the front row, just stops on row 3 and then just stands there right in the center and watches the concert. Well, to buy those lower level tickets, people pay more. So when security saw them stop on the 3rd row, they're waving them down. You know, like you can't see in just the audio, but they're waving them down like, nope, sir, can't be here. Come down. You got to go around. And he didn't move. And they're like, sir, you got to get down. And he wouldn't move. So he comes down, and he's a giant guy, and security's fighting this guy. It's like 1-on-9, and they can't really get him down. And they're trying to get him on the ground, and they're rolling around. Remember, I'm in the front row. It's right in front of me. It's right in front of Adam, you know, singing.
Yeah.
So they're right in front of me, and now they're rolling around. He's singing a song, and he's staring at him while he's singing the song. The whole rest of the crowd don't really know what's happening down here, like unless you're just standing right there. And so he turns around to the band and cuts it off, like does the throat cut thing. He's like, stop. And so he just goes and leans on the rail right in front of me, and he's staring at security, trying to fight this guy. He's on the ground, but they still can't like cuff him. And like he's a giant person. And so they finally get him, but he's watching, for however long, probably 2 minutes. 2 minutes he sits there. And then when they finally get him off, he stands up and he looks at the crowd and he says, for real? This is what he said, like to the crowd. As a matter of fact, I recorded it. I have to go find it somewhere in some hard drive. But he's like, for real? He's like, we're in Denver, where weed is legal, and we're at a Counting Crows concert. Who fights at a Counting Crows concert, especially in a place where weed is legal? And at the time, I think Colorado was the only place that it was legal, which, by the way, is actually illegal outside of your house. I believe was the rules there in Colorado. No, but yeah, when the show starts, you could just smell it everywhere. Yeah. But he said, who fights at a Counting Crows concert? And this part was real. This is awesome. He turns back, looks at the band. They start the music on the exact same word he left off on. Like whatever the cue was, they started and he sang the exact word he left off on. And it wasn't even the start of a chorus or whatever.
That's insane.
Oh, it was awesome. And they just, it was yes, I'd love to go to that show. I'd have to know when it was though.
Yeah.
I also watched the Revivalists there, one of my favorite bands. They were supposed to come to Tulsa, but it was during COVID, and they canceled and never came back. And I saw them at Red Rocks also. It was awesome.
Oh, that'd be so cool to see a concert there.
Oh, it doesn't matter who you see there. Yo-Yo Ma, world-class cello player.
Yeah, I know who that is.
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who plays there because it's the whole experience with it.
It looks beautiful.
Oh, it's a pretty awesome place, especially lit up at nighttime. The only thing I don't like is we all know I'm a little chubby, so I don't like to. I don't. If you don't have a motorcycle, and you don't get there early, let's just say you get there like 20 minutes before, you got to walk about 1.5 miles to get to the thing. Yes. So I've done it always. I've done it where I parked at the bottom. I've also had enough of that in my life, and so I started getting there like 3 hours early, and so I can park at the top. Now it works both ways though. When you park at the top, if you leave right after the concert, well, you're
the last one out.
You're stuck in it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's that. I guess there's ups and downs to all of it. Yeah, but I'd love to do that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
The Canes. My cousin works there. He's a security manager for the security company that runs all those Kane shows. So I would love to know when it is so I can say, hey, Nate.
Yo, what's up, Nate?
What up, Nate?
What's up, cuz?
Yeah, what's cool about that is I watched, who did I watch there? Oh, the Marcus King band, who I love.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was with my cousin Nathan, and he said, I'm not going to work tonight. I want to go to the show too. Well, what's awesome is because that's what he does, not for a living. He does that for a half living because he does it almost every day of the week. You know, if there's a show, probably especially in the summer, and you have access to all of it, like the VIP area.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you just go to it because he's like, it's my cousin Lloyd. If you see him, let him go.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, and the first time I tried to go up there, like, hey, do you have this band or badge, whatever it is? And I said, no. He's like, sorry, you can't go up there. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, my cousin Nate told me. He's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you're cool, man. So, anyway, I'd love to go. I'll quit rambling. Hey, listen, thanks for listening. Love everybody. Put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. Yep.
I don't have anything to say.
All right. Well, love everybody. We'll see you. Have a good week.